What is the reason for Finland's immense motorsport success? Mika Häkkinen, Kimi Räikkönen, Tommi Mäkinen and Kalle Rovanperä are just a few of many motorsport legends from Finland. But why does this small Nordic country with a population of merely 5.6 million have such a big presence in motorsport? They have the most F1 champions per capita, and even more impressive is that they have the most F1 champions per driver and 8 total champions when it comes to WRC. Rosberg, Kankkunen, Lappi, Bottas. I can go on and on with very recognizable Finnish racers, as there always seems to be a Finn making waves in some form of motorsport. Despite being a relatively small country, Finland has an obvious talent for motor racing. From Formula 1 to WRC, they are always a force to be reckoned with, and as the famous quote goes, if you want to win, get the Finn. You can even look at leaderboards in your favorite racing game, and there will definitely be a few Finns sitting in the top 10. Is it a coincidence that Finland has produced this many success stories in motorsport, or is there something more behind the success? Räikkönen has stated in an interview that this success can be attributed to the slippery and bumpy conditions of their roads. Icy road conditions in the Finnish wintertime demands good control and understanding of a car's movement. But how does this translate to motorsport prowess? The legal age to start driving in Finland is 18, which is too late to aid training, considering that many F1 drivers already start karting at 6 years old. So, extreme road conditions will probably not affect a developing racing driver's direct speed, but it will help with basic awareness of a car on hazardous surfaces, which is advantageous when racing conditions are wet, and especially on the icy roads found in rally. However, you need far more than being a motorist on icy roads to win a WRC or F1 title. What Räikkönen failed to mention, probably to avoid having to speak too much, was the culture built around motorsport in Finland. The nation's love for racing is a big contribution to its success in motorsport, as it motivates many children to start racing from a young age. However, motivation alone will not propel prospects towards success. Skills need to be honed from a young age, and this is where the motorsport culture in Finland plays a big part. Take for example the very accessible and popular folk racing in Finland called Jokamiehen luokka, an entry-level type of rallycross where everyone, despite how old they are, is allowed to compete in these informal competitions. An activity as simple as this enforces motorsport interest, and more importantly, it can develop anyone's skills from a young age. Along with Jokamiehen luokka, karting is more accessible compared to other countries, as there are many tracks to choose from in Finland, which is even more important for laying a motorsport foundation for future champions. Furthermore, corporate sponsorship and motorsport academies like the AKK Flying Finn Academy also play a big role by being eager to support and invest in promising upcoming talent, thanks to the culture built around racing. The incredible popularity of motorsport in Finland creates an environment where racing is very accessible and widely supported. Of course, motorsport is popular in many other parts of the world, so there must be something else that sets the Finns apart. Perhaps it is something intangible, maybe something that non-Finns can't grasp physically or mentally. Sisu is hard to define outside of the Finnish language, but a great example can be found by observing Kimi Räikkönen, famously called the Iceman. There is also a film titled Sisu, where the Finnish protagonist does not utter a single word until the end of the film. This film perhaps sums up the term in a non-racing environment and is a great watch. Sisu roughly translates to a mixture of tenacity, perseverance and hardiness, which is easy to find in the Finnish drivers because to be great at motorsports, you need nerves of steel. Because Sisu cannot be easily translated, perhaps a more factual and easier to understand trait found in Finns is their impassiveness. They often show little emotion and act rational in very intense situations. Look at this interviewee explaining why Tommy Mäkinen was so good at rallying.
He never pressured himself. That's why he won so many times. He said, I'm just going to take this as another event. He didn't get revved up. He didn't get too excited.
Sisu could also be the reason for Finland's non-motorsport success and achievements. Everything from fending off the USSR in World War II, with famous soldiers like Simo Häyhä, to bringing home a total of 470 Olympic medals in their lifetime, all done by a country with such a small population. It is difficult to say if Sisu is behind all of Finland's achievements and what exactly it means to them. But one thing is evident, Finns are made of stronger stuff and handle pressure very well. Stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, it is clear that there is not only one reason for Finland's triumphs in motorsport. Many factors have aligned by chance onto this small Nordic nation. Their hazardous road conditions, the big impact of their racing culture and love for motorsports, as well as the ideology behind the word Sisu. Merged together, these factors allows Finland's citizens to thrive in the world of motorsports. But it is not thanks to chance that they have reached their immense success, but rather by a supportive culture, sheer skill, years of practice and mastery, unmatched composure and decisive determination.